Welcome to the Microsoft Security Insights Podcast with your hosts, Franklin Grimberg and Edward Walton, where we discuss Microsoft 365 security and Azure security news and products.
Recorded Wednesday, September 28th at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Good evening or afternoon, Rod, Jacques. And soon Edward and Frank will join us. How are you, Rod, today? Rod, my co-host, my friend.
You know, I think people know how I am. So I think we need to push it back to your side. Where have you been? I don't. So you said you're on an island. I don't see a tan. What kind of island was this? Was it Newfoundland? Was it what?
Other coast. Luckily, not Newfoundland, which is recovering from a hurricane. So right. Hats off to the entire Atlantic coast of Canada. I hope you're doing okay and cleaning up okay. I was on Vancouver Island on the west coast where it was just sunny the entire time. And that was the lighting in here is terrible, Rod. I'm at the Calgary office today on 9th Avenue, downtown Calgary. And I've got a little breakout room here so I don't, talk over everybody as the whole office is full. We had the new president of Microsoft Canada come by today. And so an email came out basically, and it's like, please make an effort to show up. We will feed and water you. And I was like, okay, well, I'll show up if there's food, right? That's good. So
I think you missed an opportunity. I think you missed an opportunity, though. Where is this president of the office?
He was here. I got a chance to shake his hand and introduce myself, but he had a lot of people because everybody came in. And not a lot of desks. A lot of people came in at like 9:30, and they're like, "What? It's full?" And I got here at like 8, and I got my corner desk right away. So I was pretty happy about that. But Rod, if I see him again, I'll invite him on. I'll tell him we could probably squeeze him in somewhere.
We might. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll be able to figure it out. Right?
So what did you do on vacation? What'd you do?
Well,
golf?
We golfed, and unfortunately, my dad beat me by 2 strokes because I completely fell apart in the middle part of the golf. And he gets really competitive. So he started slowing down and swinging properly. And he's like, "See, bro, you just gotta swing slow like dad." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna remember that every time I golf now. Slow like dad." And he
like dad.
Yeah. So we golfed, and we also went out to Victoria, saw a band, and just kind of checked out some pubs. And there was also some kayaking, which is my dad's idea. He's never kayaked before.
Oh, so wow.
We'll see kayaking, but it was in a pretty sheltered bay, Brentwood Bay it's called. It was just beautiful. There was seals that came up to us. There was
get out of here. That's awesome.
Yeah, they were really cool. They were just bubbling up over the surface, so that was pretty neat. And we saw a whole bunch of jellyfish, and I found out that helping your dad in and out of the kayak is important if he needs to get off on shore to relieve himself. But then you need to have your own strategy for getting in the kayak and pushing yourself off at the same time. Needless to say, I fell in the ocean, so it got a little wet. So a bit of a wet bus ride home, but made it work. It was all good. So it was a great visit. It was a great visit. Other than losing the golf, I had a great time. I'll get him next year. And how about you, Frank? What's new with you?
Are we talking about Brody's excellent adventure again? What's the deal?
Yeah, we are. But we'd love to hear from you. Look, you got a new background. This is amazing, Frank. What's going on with you?
Look at
that. That's so professional. Look at that.
You like
cool.
That?
Yeah, you got a Who Hacked. Hey, Rod, you're supposed to send me one of those board games. I'm pretty sure. I know it's an extra stamp because I live in Canada, but I'll send you the money if you put the extra stamp on. I'd like one.
Okay, I'll send those. I was actually thinking about that today because we were. I don't know if I should talk about Ignite. We were talking about Ignite today, and people are looking for swag because apparently there is no in-person swag this year except for maybe a water bottle or something like that.
We need swag, Rod. We always.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I had to show up this week because because I had to edit last week's podcast so much. I had to remove that half an hour content on Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps.
Oh, you mean Ed's entire demo?
Yeah, I had removed that out of the podcast because we can't have a Defender for Cloud Apps demo.
I can't wait to listen to it or watch it. I haven't done it yet. I'm not going to lie, but I got to check it out.
I'm wondering, Frank, what are those scary things just above your head?
Talk about conference swag. This is what I would give away at conferences.
All right.
So,
do they come alive at night while you're sleeping?
Or just move offices?
Oh, they were very cool to give away.
That's cool.
And they're not made anymore, so now they're collector's editions. Hopefully, somebody can figure out the little statues in the behind there, and which one's missing.
Those are Fallout boys from Fallout.
Yes, and one's
missing. I'm squinting to see them though, so I don't know which ones are missing.
Not gonna make it easy.
It's pretty interesting. I frankly I like it. Or Frank, I like it. Either way you want to say it, but that's pretty awesome. I like the background.
Great background.
Background. Did you just get? Was that what was behind the green screen all along?
Yes.
There you go.
Really?
Yeah.
That looks way better. Why did you have the green screen up? That looks way better.
Did you trip over the green screen and walking around?
No, it's still there. It's still there.
Okay.
When you pay for a green screen, you got to use the green screen. So
you do. I actually have a couple in my closet over here, and I have one that fits over the chair, but it just looks so goofy. I don't use it.
And you always have to have the right lighting. Lighting.
That'd be great.
Otherwise,
well, Jacques, you have a cool background anyway, so.
Yeah.
No, just get the natural.
This is to Frank. Just don't get them wet.
Yes, right.
And don't feed them after midnight.
Yeah, I got a few more. I got big ones. These, but yeah, they don't make them anymore, so I consider them collector's editions. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
And this one's to me, but I'm not going to answer that right now. So.
Addicted to KQL. Oh wow.
Yeah, there is a sort of kind of a Addicted to KQL series coming to match the Must Learn KQL. It's just taking a little bit longer. So.
Okay. Hey, can I ask you guys a question before we get on with the show? A great question for one of my customers today. And
cost you a nickel.
A nickel. Well, your rate's gone down, Frank. You're worth more than that. All right. So customer, and it seems like a lot of commercial customers that we've been dealing with, they hear you don't need on-prem config man anymore. You don't need SCCM. Move everything to the cloud. Move to the cloud. It's wonderful. This is just, containerize that comment and realize that we as technical people don't necessarily put it that way, right? So customer is trying to manage custom ASR rules. They have onboarded their servers with Defender for Cloud. Say Defender for Endpoint has a part in that, right? But you can't manage custom ASR rules through Intune/Endpoint Manager for servers because it's designed to be an endpoint and mobility solution sans servers, right? So what's the right approach here? Is it SCCM policies or config man policies to manage those custom ASR rules versus kind of old school group policies? How would you do it?
Well, the question I would pose back to you is, what do they have deployed currently? Do they have a config man environment? Because you can absolutely manage all of that through config man. Is that a long-term solution? Probably not, right?
Right. They want to get rid of it, right? They want to save the money. They want to go to the cloud. Everything's cheap, free, and easy on the cloud, right, Rod? But I don't think you can. I don't think you can manage the level of granularity through the Defender for Cloud portal like you can with endpoint manager policies when it comes to security, right? So that's
that's why you want to split them up. So you want your group policies and things running from a server perspective, and you want your endpoints and mobility running on a complete different section. And that's what we had this conversation as well, because security and desktop and deployment do not talk. They don't talk. They do not see eye to eye. So for some reason, so they protect their assets, and the desktop guys will always tell you, no, we've got this. That's what we're doing. We don't want to change it. Security guys always knocking on the door. If you don't do it in 2 days, we're gonna have a problem. So what we start to what we start to see is that if you actually go into security NDE, you will start to see your scorecard and what is the most important part, and then you work your way down from the scorecard down. And that's what we do with our customers. We first check what is the highest priority and work your way down, and then, because you can also manage. So my question is back, how do you manage your Mac and your Linux server system?
Well, they manage endpoints, like user endpoints, Mac OS, Windows, Android, and iOS through Intune. But they've heard that moving away from on-prem Active Directory and on-prem ConfigMan is the way of the future, right? But it seems like there's a gap here because we can't manage those granular ASR rules and probably other things that I'm just not thinking of at the top of my head on servers, specifically through the MDC portal. So it seems like we still need to keep around AD group policy on-prem ConfigMan to do that.
A stupid question. Can you do E3 through ConfigMan? Because that is the heart and soul of E5. If you don't get your vanilla layer up, security perspective is different. So I think it's two different layers here. You've got the machine that you manage and your domain, and you've got then your security on top of that you want to manage. Could be different. Hence, if I show you what we're going to need to do today, it might answer a few questions.
Well, that's a great segue. Yeah, okay, but like super quick, Rod, Frank, before we get into Jacques and his magic today with Red Canary and MITRE, like have you had that come up at all?
Well, I'm posting a link in here. People can check it out. I probably should create a shorter link, but it's about the management plane, right? So for servers, they should be Azure Arc enabled, and yeah, you can manage ASR rules with Arc, right? So in that whole management plane, you're managing on-prem and cloud in the same console at the same time.
Perfect. I knew I was missing something, and
I'll create a short link for that for later, but yeah.
By the way, it's pretty impressive you have the power to create aka.ms links. That's a pretty coveted power. So like I'll bow down to Rod and your
So everyone at Microsoft does. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Oh, I didn't know that. You'll have to send me the
I was just I just throw it out there and don't tell anybody because I'm like, yeah, I have that power. But no, I'll have to tell you about that later.
Okay, sweet. That's cool. Okay. Well, I mean, Frank, if there's nothing else you want to share, or Rod, nothing else you want to share, we could reintroduce Jacques and have him go through the demonstration.
Yeah, I would absolutely love that. Unless, no, I think that's it for me. I don't have anything really to share. I think next week we'll talk a little bit about Ignite because then it'll be 1 week to go, and we can talk about the security offerings or the lack of, if you want to put it that way, at Ignite this year.
We'll I just look right at the camera, Rod.
Yes.
I just want to compare you to that younger picture of yourself that you posted on Twitter.
Oh, with Johan. Yeah. Oh, that was a while back. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Well, Rod, we're all disappointed you couldn't get us free all-inclusive tickets to Ignite this year, but it's okay. You can stay on as a co-host, and we still love you anyway. So thank you for all you do.
I appreciate that. I'll do better next year.
Thank
you may not want me to do better next year. We'll
Economy pending, yeah. Well, Mr. Jacques van Zijl, it was too bad I couldn't see you in the office today, but we all know why. If you caught our pre-show, extensive list as to the reasons why. But Jacques, do you want to just quickly introduce yourself one more time in case folks did not see you on our last episode together, and then just talk about what you'd like to demonstrate today?
Yeah, sure. I'm Jacques van Zijl. I'm a National Cyber Defense Specialist for Microsoft Canada. I do everything that's pretty cool to do with hacking stuff, and I play with a lot of hacking stuff. I am an extension of the TS team, which I think you guys said to me the last time. What is it? And I think it's Technology Solution Specialist. No, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Is it right?
It's the TSP role. I've been learning more about it.
Technical Solution.
Technical Specialist.
I think it's Technical Specialist.
Yeah.
So many acronyms in Microsoft. So I support the group as well, and my speciality basically is to look into threat landscape to level 500. So I work with the product managers, I work with the Israeli team, and I also work with starting recently with IoT hacking. And we start to see a little bit of stuff in our industry, especially in Alberta, where we just found 3 days ago a hacking device in the IoT segmented network. And it was by pure accident what they did, how we caught it. A script that I wrote, and the hacker plugged the plug to power it up, USB, not into a wall socket or something, or something like a non-intelligent USB device. He plugged it into a MDE machine to power it up, and because my script looked for certain behaviors, it detected it. If it wasn't, it was a man-in-the-middle attack. So what they're doing is it's a device called a packet squirrel, and what it's doing is it's a very, very advanced Wireshark transmitter. So it's one RJ45 and one RJ45, and whatever goes through those packets, they're searching for sensors. Where does the sensors go? So if you're in an IoT environment and you've got machinery running zeros and ones, whatever, like to open and close door or valves or whatever like that, before it goes to the PLC systems, you can actually manipulate it. So I can make a 0 and I can open a valve, I can close a valve, because it only searched for that segment. So we sent it to the engineering team and we asked them, how do we work together, myself and them and a few guys, to pick that up in advanced hunting script before we send it up. And this was
this a hack? Was this a Hack 5?
Yes, it was a Hack 5 device that we called. So I've got a whole range of them now, the new range as well, which now runs in XML files. So we're busy trying to rewrite coding and stuff like that to pre-detect it into MDE. So that's kind of where my job, well, what I do as well. What I'm showing you today is actually nothing to do with my work. However, the Red Canary opened up a tremendous amount of doors when you go into a partner or a customer, or you want to execute certain things so that they can understand the landscape of their environment. So a Red Canary you can use for multiple things. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys know that Red Canary is a global partner, Microsoft. So
we do, and we've had them on a few times, Jacques. Red Canary, friends of the show. Shout out Red Canary. Absolutely amazing people. We should get you all on one day at the same time for a round table. I think that would be entertaining.
Yeah, I would love to. I work with the engineering team in the UK, but I'm not sure if there's in the US or something like that. I just 1 or 2 guys I work with always when I write something new or we check something out. So I've got 3 demos I want to show you guys, and we want to go a little bit into it. However, there is something I need to say before we continue. Can we go into the segment now?
Yes, absolutely. It's all yours, bud.
So I probably have to share my screen, and let's say share screen and share screen. It will it ask me which screen I want to share? Yes, it does. Okay.
Rod, do you have to do anything to let him share his screen, or you have to bring it in?
Can you see it?
I got it. Add to stream. There we go. There we go. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yes.
All right. Thanks. Sorry, I was answering Twitch questions.
All good.
Can you guys see my mugshot?
Yeah, you look great. You look great.
That's when I was still young and dumb. Now I'm just young. Okay. Just before I continue, I have to just say that I have a condition called autism. So if I talk a little bit technical or slightly out of, you guys don't understand what I'm saying, just say, hey, Jacques, just explain to me, go further. You guys know the story. We all have been training. Okay, that's about it from slides. Okay, so what I did was I want to talk a little bit. Oh, no, actually not. What I want to show you is I created an agenda, which I actually never do. So first, communicate what you want to test. That's number 1 that I always go to a partner or a customer, because a lot of people they call the frame Hail Mary. They just take a test and they just throw everything into Windows Win Server and see what Defender catch, whatever technology they're using, does it catch it or not? This is not the way you're going to be successful. You have to think as a hacker. You have to think stealth mode. You have to think how I'm going to get in there and what I want to test. You also need to communicate to the desktop team and the security team what is the goal of the test. That's the most important part before you even start it, because you sometimes need to set up your virtual machine, or if you have a service device in your organization, you have to set it up to the test that you want to do. So I'm going to do 3 tests, and in those 3 tests, you could set it up once, meaning the prerequisites and the stuff, the dependencies that you want to install, because some of them you need Mimikat, some of them you need eating of the land, some of them you need like our own tools, internal tools like Bit. Are you guys familiar with Bit? Because hackers sometimes use our own tools against us. Okay, so how do we actually detect those tools? So that's number 1. Then I'm going to go into number 2. Let's prep Canary, just to make sure it's working. I'll show you a little bit how that works. And then we're going to do 1 or 2 testings. Okay. The testings I'm going to do is, the first testing that everybody wants to do is, can you steal my credentials? Okay. And how does that work? The second one is, can you grab website, any web credentials, any passwords, scripts, whatever, like it in a web container. Now I'm going to show you the difference between a product and edge. Okay, I don't know if I'm really allowed to say the product, the other web browser, but anyway. And then testing number 3 will be, if there's enough time, we will kind of do that. And that is basically, how do I use something like a lasagna project, which is starting to pick up more and more and more, some very cool stuff. Okay, so with no further ado, let's go into, so what I did was this, by no means, no server, no Windows will get harmed during this process. Okay, so I have an actual server in my office here. It's not connected at all to any internal businesses like Microsoft, anything like that. Just be very aware of that, okay, because it can run around. Okay, so first of all, what you want to do is, if you want to go into Red Canary, so let's just pop up Red Canary and people can see what we're talking about if we talk about Red Canary. So when you go to GitHub and you just type in Red Canary, it will basically take you to the GitHub framework. And from here on, it basically tells you exactly how it operates and works. Okay, read the documentation pretty deeply. Once you understand it, it's very simple to use, but you need to understand the prerequisites and how it actually works. Okay, and if you go and you land up this page over here, go to Get Started page, and it will basically take you down how to install it, the YAML files, and then obviously what OS you want to test: Linux, Mac, Windows. Okay, very simple. If I click on this, we're actually going to go into the testings. Now we can go check how many testings you can do. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll down. That's all the testings you can actually do. There's literally hundreds of them. Hundreds.
Oh, there's so many I can barely read them, Jacques. Can you zoom in a bit?
It is insane what you can go and test. But what I normally do is I go over here and I explain to customers and partners what is the MITRE ATT&CK framework. What do you need to know over here? Okay. Yeah. So obviously,
hey, Sorry, before you keep going, could you zoom in a little bit? It's a little small. I don't think our viewers can tell.
And the fonts are very jagged for everyone watching.
Is that better?
So, yeah, that's better. I know it's pretty zoomed in, but we appreciate that, Jacques. Thank you.
No problem. I just don't know how to go left and right here. Let's do this. Oh, there we go. Left and right. Okay. So it basically starts off from the left and it goes all the way to the right. That's all your techniques that you can get. Now, if you go over the technique, you can see it gives you a number, T1595, T1592, and that's kind of how the MITRE ATT&CK framework works. And that's why I love Red Canary, because Red Canary works exactly on that T1509 number that we can test, which I will show you guys just now. So The number one thing we want to stop from hackers before they even get into a network is reconnaissance. If you can stop a hacker from reconnaissance, he doesn't know where to go and attack. So from me, that is number one what I want to see. I always want to see that we stopping the hacker to actually see what's happening on our network, segment your network, make sure it's on different in IP addresses and so forth, or subnet mask. If you can, like, don't put your storage and everything and your in the same network. Trying to segment your workers. For instance, we also say to the guys, segment your headquarters. Like, let's say, for instance, you're a company that runs point of sale systems. Segment the point of sale systems of your headquarter guys that's doing, and segment your guys that, for instance, it's an IT, that them have a different IP range, because you can easily pick up where the hack is. Otherwise, you need to scan the whole network to understand where this hack could be or where this device could be. So Smart. From that perspective, I'm going to show you guys what we're going to test. So if you don't understand what this framework is, go on YouTube, go and learn the MITRE ATT&CK framework. It will tell you everything. We can go forever into this. It's pretty big, but it's just basically what we call the hacker's Bible, or a blue team Bible, if you want to use this attack framework. Okay, now if you install Red Canary, it could be tricky. So once you install it, you take 2 virtual machines. The one virtual machine is vanilla, nothing on it, turn all the security off. The next machine that you install first, take all the security off, then install Red Canary, because it's just basically it's a .ps1 file, and it installs everything onto the system. So you turn off Defender, you don't put them in MDE or nothing like that. Once it's all installed, then turn on Defender, and then turn on MDE, and wait 48 hours before you do any testing. Because what's going to happen is, once you enable it, Windows is going to send all the information to your Microsoft Defender framework. And if you do not do exclusions, it's going to detect it. It's extremely hard. It's going to detect it. And I'm going to show you what I mean with that. Even though I've turned it off, as soon when I turn it on, if I go into my machine over here, you will see if I go into Defender, it's already starting to detect. It was detecting Mimikatz, for instance. It doesn't like it. It detects it, even though it excluded it. So what you then do is to prepare.
I got a warning about that from Microsoft Security about Mimikatz one day. That was my bad. Yep. Hey, Jacques, I'm sure you've had a few of those. Jacques, can you zoom in a little bit more? Maybe try sharing. Just the virtual machine. I know you're trying to flip between windows, but it's just a little hard to read the text.
Oh, okay.
I think it's because you've got massive monitors at home.
Yeah, I've got. However, I have a virtual machine in a virtual machine.
Oh, a nested virtual machine. Fun. Well, I don't know how we're going to zoom that in. That's going to be tough.
That's even worse.
That's even worse.
Yeah. Well, usually we read things to Brody, so he doesn't have to read anyway. So.
I actually don't know how to read. I'm really just a pictures kind of guy. Yeah. That's
okay. Well, I will explain just now. Can you read exclusions?
Yeah, I think so. Rod, does that look okay to you? Do we need to get him to change the resolution, or is that okay?
This should be okay for now. Yeah, usually I use Zoom it. I keep that loaded all the time, but I don't know if you use that or not, Jacques.
I did use it. I can quickly probably just. Is it something I have to download?
Yeah, it's an executable. It's a sysinternal tool. Zoom it. You load it and then hit Control-1, and it zooms wherever your cursor's at, which is kind of neat.
So where do I get it from? Where do I download it?
From Microsoft. Just type in Zoom it. All one word. Zoom IT.
Like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Mark Rusinovich for creating this in the first place years ago.
Not the Softonic download. Oh my goodness. No, we want the top one.
LearnMicrosoft.com, the top one.
Okay.
No, not Softonic.
Don't forget the same place you can get Sysmon if you want.
Yeah, and you're just about to get another one of those nasty Microsoft emails. Click that one on top. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. We got it. Perfect. Soft tonic. Nobody likes soft tonic. Trying to trick us into downloading software with your adware.
Not since they invented hard tonic.
Oh, thanks,
Nobody does that anymore. Yeah,
thanks,
there you go.
Dad.
You open that up and just run that, and it'll execute, run the system tray. Then you just hit Control-1, and wherever your cursor's at, it will zoom into that little area.
Oh, see, you learn every day something new.
That's why we're all here, Jacques. We're all here to learn from each other.
Well, see, that's a presenter's tool. I've used that so many times.
Oh, Zoom 64.
Oh, you got to use 64. Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Trust us. Yes, trust us. Just hit OK. Now hit Control-1 and watch wherever your cursor's at.
I'm going to clean it up a bit.
You can even use red lines to mark things, and it's pretty cool, actually.
Oh, cool.
Now, if you just hit your mouse button, you can draw a little red line on that.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
And if I want to zoom out, I just Control-1 again.
Yep.
You see. Yeah. Okay. So,
Awesome.
So
I've done my thing for the day. So.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks, guys. I always thought sometimes, but I never ask because, we don't really ask. We don't read manuals. So I've seen some people do it, but I never ask why. Okay, so the 3 exclusions you want: the atomic red kinetic directory, the PS2 ones, and you want to actually go into the local temp and just exclude that as well, because what it's going to do is I'm going to show you guys if it's going to actually download the tools required to do the actual hack as a hacker. So Red Canary really made it so easy for you to actually use them to utilize. So if you go into your system, can you guys see that font? Is that big? If I type in the top there,
it's a little small.
Okay, let's do
some Control-1 bit
that way.
Yeah, gotta remember, Brody just came back from vacation. He hasn't
listened
too hard yet.
I am trying to make sure the recording and our viewers can see it. But yes, my eyes from all the sun, Rod. All the sun was just,
I know, so brittle.
Go ahead, Jacques. Thank you.
I'm trying to type in here, but it's.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to type when it's zoomed in.
You can't. Okay.
Yep.
So what you want to do is you want to do invoke atomic test. Then you type in the actual test that you want to do. So T1055. Okay. So like I said, we're going to do 3 testings over here. So the 3 testings that we're going to utilize is remote process injection via LSAS. Can I grab passwords in the LSAS? Then disable security. There's a lot of YouTube videos going around that you can just go ahead and disable, E5 like it's nothing, or Defender. And then can I grab, if we have some time, grab some passwords out of the browser. So let's just check if we can do this. But what we're going to show you is exactly how we execute that. So what we do is we do that, and what we can do is you say check. You want to say show. Show, and then you say show brief. So what it will do is it will tell you what you can do. Shellcode execution, remote process injection by LSAS using Mimikatz. Now, do we have Mimikatz installed or not? So we can then go and check. Do we have the actual prerequisite? So what we do is we say check, and it's going to go and check for you the first one if you have it installed, so that you can do the test, and it's going to go and check for the second one.
Well, that's easy.
That's very easy. Okay, so there we go, and it's going to give us green, and it tells us, I can actually do that injection. Let's say, for instance, you did not have it. Okay, what you now can do is, which I didn't have in it, which is very cool. You can say get prerequisites, and it will go and grab it for you and install it.
Really? I didn't know that. That is really easy. Wow.
So it makes your life so much easier when you do testings, and it will tell you the Mimikatz executes that exists, and it's going to tell you where it is existing. Remember, I said go in and make sure you do exclusions on those directories. Otherwise, if you don't do the exclusions, the offender will kill it. You will not be able to download anything. Okay. So after we've done that, what we can now do is we can say, right, we want to test number 2. Okay, that's obviously what we want to test. So we then say minus, and we say test number 2, and then we say show. It's going to tell us what it's going to do. Sorry, not show. Show details. Okay, so what it's telling us it's going to do is, if you go scroll a little bit up, it's going to tell us right over here on the top. It tells you what it's going to do. It's saying here, do you guys see this atomic test GUID?
Yeah, we do. Zoom in on that. What is? Yeah, tell us all about that.
That means the red team won't act in Microsoft Global because they're a partner of us. Okay, if a hack like this comes through and they see that code, they understand we are testing something. Okay, keep in mind, once you roll in to MDE and you roll into Defender, Microsoft Global execution from a red team perspective, like our dark team, they don't know that you are doing a test. So they will act on this test if you do it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you get a nasty email. Yeah, for sure.
Well, even if you're a partner or not internally, it could be because they don't know. They don't know where the data comes from. But because you do it this way, they actually then, okay, we understand how that works. So they won't act on it because it's not an actual hack that's happening.
Got it. It's all based on the GUID. Okay.
It's going to say we're going to use Mimikatz. It's going to go via PSExec. It's going to dump the LSAS process for a RAD 500 vote injection. And then it's basically going to grab the information and it's going to put it into a deep dive on the LSAS patch and inject it into the HTML. And it's going to prompt out, yep, we got the password. Okay. Or the attack is going to happen. So once you then do it, it's telling you all these little red things over here. You can go as a company and put your own things in. So if you speak to your the desktop or security team, you can say, let's say, for instance, me and Rod, we want to test this. Then they can give us a number. Let's say test 007. We will then put in the execution path on the end 007, 007, 007 everywhere. So when it happens, they know that this hack is an internal testing platform. You guys get what I'm saying? So when it goes through all the security process, they actually understand that this testing is done within the company internally.
Okay, got
so
it. So it's identified as a
Sentinel, test. It will pick up in MDE. It will pick up on your routers, whatever you're testing, because everybody will. That's what I'm saying. Once you go and you say, I want to test a certain things, speak to the team and get to a certain command names that you want to do it in time frames and stuff like that, because you can actually customize this attack that it doesn't say PSEx, the path or the machine and stuff like that.
So you don't get yelled at for it.
Sorry?
So you don't get yelled at for it.
Yes. Okay. Well, and also it saves you, always have something that saves you in the end, right? Right, now we want to run this. So let's see what happens. We execute it. It now injects into LSAS. It's going to grab the Mimikatz. It's going to grab, and it says invalid. Couldn't access the DC1. Why? Because what does Credential Guard do?
It manages credentials.
And it manages whoever it connects to the DC.
Yep, that would be a no-no.
Yeah. So this hack can't happen. So what did we test? Does Credential Guard work? Yes, it works. Did Credential Guard work in a virtual machine? Yes, it did work. Could a hacker grab the information to my server, like the SHA, the hash? Could it grab anything else? No, it could not. Could not connect. So it is smarter Okay. Now, if you use a very old Windows 10, like very old Windows 10, this would probably go through. There is another way I can show you how you can flash the TPM and actually make it more secure. But that will be in a different session. So this hack did not actually happen. But if I go to my system, we should actually get an alert because it was enrolled into MDE. So let's see what's happening on the endpoint.
On our lovely Defender portal. Can you zoom in a little bit there, Jacques?
Excuse me?
Could you zoom in a little bit, the page?
Yeah, I will zoom in just now. I just want to navigate to the alerts and then I will zoom in.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, there we go. So, there we pick it up. Suspicious command. Already pick up. Oh, there we go. So there we go. It's already picked it up. The hack.
Yeah.
And it's busy killing it. So if we go into,
I like how you put that. It's busy killing it.
Yeah.
Automated investigation and response, right? That's what
automated murder. Yeah.
Detecting the cool, and there we go. Credential access, and it killed it. Okay. So what it's going to do also is, if we've never seen attack, so they tell us there's 5,000 or 7,000 different Mimikat versions out there. Okay. And every time they do obscuring, so they do a base 64 encoder. Are you guys familiar with base 64 encoding? I mean, you can take it and you can actually make it even more harder to detect. So you can actually take that code and encrypt that code and encrypt that code. So it takes a long time for the artificial intelligence to pick it up. It's a Mimikat version of family. So what it's doing now is, because I took an observation. So what I did was I took a Mimikat and I secured it. I made it even more secure. Otherwise, it's just going to pick it up like this. I couldn't do this particular test. Then what happens is it's in progress by running what that version is. It really detects it's a Mimikat's version. It's now going to say what family and where it is. So it's already stopped it. Okay. So the AI and the ML of Microsoft works extremely quickly. We just run it now and we already detect it. That's how quick it was. Okay. So that hack didn't work. Okay.
Cool.
So it's very smart how it detects. Okay, so let's go to myth number 2. If there's no questions, myth number 2 is we can disable Defender. Okay, there's so much YouTube videos about this.
Yeah.
Here's a little hint. If it have techno music in it, don't follow it. Okay.
But I like techno music, but I don't like Defender getting disabled.
Oh, this is interesting. I'll be happy to see this. I've delivered a session a couple times. I don't know if you know Sergey or not. He's a Russian, one of our partners. I've delivered sessions with him before. Well, he'll disable Defender and do some hacks, and then I'll do my side. And Sentinel has literally captured all of it anyway. He was able to do it, but at least I was able to capture it. So.
Nice.
Yeah, it depends how you set it up.
Yeah.
So this is where E3 comes in. Okay. So when you run your Defender and you run your E3 underneath it, okay, and you go into the protection side, always make sure when you go to device security that your core isolations are running. So this is turning off, right? So that's why, but I'm going to put it on now. So it's going to send the information up. It will not allow this particular application to actually happen. Okay. And yeah, we don't really need to restart it. It's not going to happen. It's going to work. Also, what I do is I put on core isolations from the processing power. So this is anything that happens from a program perspective, because you want to turn something on. Now you see MS Sensor will run, but MS Sensor is a kernel. It's built in Windows. It's not running as a API. Our what is it? How do I say it very nicely? Our competitors are running it as an API. Why? Because they don't own Windows. We own our Windows.
Right.
We can manipulate it like we want to because it's our operating system. That's the difference. Okay, so we want to run that. So what we want to do is we want to go and say show. Not that. We're going to say show. And then we show details. Yes, because we want to know what it does. Okay, so we're going to see a lot. So that's all of them. I want to break it down now to the. That's how many tests you can run. Just so you can come from multiple angles if you want to test this particular hack. I'll just wait till it's finished.
That's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I will show you the list. So
that's literally trying every single angle to try to do that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
This is how many angles there is. Look there. 29, 30, 36.
Wow. And that's just the known angles, right? The known attempts.
So you can go nuts here. You can spend months just on this particular thing. That's why I'm saying when people play around with testing and hacking testing, be very vigilant and be very specific what you want to test.
Yeah.
Because it's like we're going to test a temper, we're going to test disable Windows Defender. Okay, so that's 26. A Defender Microsoft. We can even go and disable Microsoft Office security function features. There we go. We can try to disable that. Remove Windows Defender definition files. Ooh. Stop arbitrary Windows services. So we can actually stop the Windows services. So which one do you guys want to try? You want to? Let's give it. Let's try. What do you think? Well,
Rod, what do you want?
I the only thing that I zero in on is the word backstab. So let's kill anti-malware protected processes using backstab.
Number
29.
It is 29.
29.
I don't know why I'm so violent tonight. I don't know.
Now, here's going to be a problem. We might need to install backstab. So let's just...
That's true. Okay.
Rod, making it complicated.
All right. Okay,
we can do that. He can show us. He can show us.
I'm like an Uno. I'm gonna play a pass card. Brody, it's your turn.
So that is number 29.
If Jacques feels like he can get it installed quickly, then we'll
let's check.
Let's check.
It might be there already. Somebody might be tampering with the system now.
Rod's hacking the hacker.
We might need to go 29 this way and just say show. No. So we need to go then 001 and then we say dash 29 dash show. Some of them you've got to play a little bit with the, there we go, naming convention.
Oh yeah.
There we go, backstab. Okay. So what we now need to do is we need to now check if we have the actual check the prerequisites. Do we have it? Kill protection using backstab.
So cool. You know, I've never done. We've had Red Canary on, but I've never worked with this before. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay. See, now we don't have it. So what we now do is we just go back and we say get. Now here is where ATP might freak out and say no. No.
Elevation required. Yeah.
You see, it won't allow us to.
Okay.
Wait. Attempting to prerequisite already met. I think
it's good though. That's good though.
I did download it. I think I did download because I executed it. Remember? Yeah. Okay. So let's run it. So then we say dash test number 29. You can't run it because I need
elevated privileges, yeah.
And I am the administrator.
Huh.
So is that Is that a protection mechanism?
Yeah. So
right.
because it's in the kernel, the only guy that can run this is who? Think a little bit. Who's the only person that has access to have that? So I have administrative rights. I'm a local on the machine. And then it found that stopped it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you need system privileges.
Global admin.
Oh yeah, right.
Only global admin can run this. See, now we've tested, can we run this? But now we can also see you need global admin to run this particular hack or this particular tool. So you can kind of see how you can use Red Canary to actually do certain things. But let's go back. Let's go back and say not chow.
Somebody's hungry.
I could use some chow.
Come on. No, I did the whole 29 thing again. Do you guys find it very interesting? Is this stuff that will help you understand how we actually run testings?
Well, we've had Red Canary on a few times, and we understand they have a very large suite of testing utilities, but we haven't had a demonstration with somebody like yourself actually executing on them, and you're really displaying how easy it is to pick this up and run with it at home. We've got everything on GitHub. You've got a nested VM environment at home. This is not your Microsoft machine, or Zijl would be giving you an email. And I think the show prereqs and the get just makes that way easier, right? It lowers the barrier of entry for people who want to test out these capabilities. So it's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Oh, good. You picked the one I was going to pick. 26 rod.
So it says to make a test. So this is what it's going to do. So you can read the description. The following atomic will attempt to disable Windows Defender using the built-in DISM exe deployment, image services, and management tool. DISM is used, and it gives you a little bit what it is to configure features in Windows imaging. A successful execution will not stand out on the details. Remove and switch, and it will also use verbose. Okay, to do this particular tag. I don't know if you guys know this, but this is just a higher form of execution. And I give you the attack command. So what we can do is we can just run this by saying test number
26.
26.
Yeah.
And blink, done.
There it is.
Awesome. Can't happen. Okay. This is very cool, right? But let's go to a system and see actually how it really looks like. So let's go and start up quickly a VM that we can do certain things with, because we see the good stuff, right? What about how does it really look like if something like a hacker would run that?
Something unprotected.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with Commando?
No. I played Commander Keen when I was younger.
I'm familiar with a couple. There's the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, and then there's where you just don't wear underwear.
I'm also familiar with the first one. Second one. So, listen, you guys know, obviously, Linux. Kali Linux.
Yes.
Did you guys know there's a Windows version of it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The Commander.
I did not.
I'll show you in the next, maybe in another time. I'll show you how that works. That's
Microsoft loves Linux. Yeah,
we do. You know what? That was such a smart move. That's a Satya Nadella move, right?
Do you know who built that?
No.
The Commander VM while it's booting up. FireEye.
Oh really?
Yeah. If you go over here and you type in your Commando VM GitHub. Ooh, I don't want to show you those. That was something I was busy testing. Just go in here, say command. There we go. So that's Commander VM. So basically, welcome to Commander VM, fully customized Windows-based security distribution for penetration testing and red teaming. So what they did was they built a Kali Linux version into Windows. Do you know how hard? Do you know what we did with this? This is actually just a quick story. We couldn't get into we were doing a security thing with this company, and because everything was Kali Linux, that all the sensors were picking up anything Linux based on the network, on a NAC on the network. So what we did was we there was a developer machine, and we basically hacked the developer machine, and we exported a VM of Commando into his machine, and we loaded it up into his machine, and we had a complete hacking machine behind the network.
Cool. That's
the
hilarious.
problem was it was a 60 gig VM.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty big.
So they did detect us, but hey, it could be done.
Yeah, could be done. Cool, Jacques. Yeah, show us this. Oh, Acid Burn. That's Rod. What movie is that from?
Hackers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. From Hackers. Look at that. Love this VM.
Okay,
so this Acid Burn here is not an E5 MDE customer, I'm guessing, Jacques.
No, Acid. Okay. She was. Remember in the movie, she was.
Excuse me.
She wasn't. She was always against. So who's the one I'm using? What's his name?
It was Acid Burns and
Zero Cool.
This is
Zero Cool.
Right. Thank you.
So, and it's Lord Nikon, Dr. Doom, Freak, Serial Killer.
I just go with $6 million man characters. I'm simple.
Okay, Atomic Red Team. So we can invoke. Probably we won't be able to invoke. We will see. No, we don't. Okay. So we quickly need to just do something over here to do the invoke command. For some reason, sometimes it does not like when you don't force the invoke module. I'm not sure why it always does that. I just need to create a. So now it will force the invoke.
I like how you have this set up, Jacques. You've got one nested VM with Microsoft MDE protection, and then you've got another VM that's exposed. It's a great way to do a side-by-side test to see how we can get into the system.
Yeah, the problem was if you run everything from your corp machine and you does team, it just kills it. You can't do it.
And then you get an email.
Oh, you get a lot of emails. So T1450, and we say show details. Now, they're going to be found. Oh, yeah, probably can't be found. Like this, because did I do it correctly? It should be. Yeah, it was correctly. T15550. Yeah, stealing credentials.
Oh, you're going to do the LSAS test? Okay.
Don't take T15555 dash show.
Oh no! Did Acid Burn forget to install the Atomic Red Team pack?
It could be. No, there isn't. Atomic is there. Let me just check something. You know how the demo gods work?
Absolutely. I have been burned by the demo gods more times than I care to admit. But live demos are more fun that way.
No, it is there. It's fine. It's there. Okay. Yeah, it is there. So look for alias. Yeah, and invoke is there. Let's just say invoke. Let's just see if we can see T1055 just for what does it say? I cannot find it because it doesn't exist. Okay, quickly. I could quickly fix this. Just do this.
No sweat. That was pretty cool, Rod. What do you think?
Well, I think so. And this is exactly what it looks like, I believe, because I've never been in that situation, as much as anyone knows. This whole hacking process, right? It is kind of hit and miss sometimes. Who was the latest hack? Uber, I guess.
Yes, I did hear about that on the interwebs. Yeah, that was interesting to read about. Yeah, and it's, like, we don't like to talk about FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, but if you have that zero trust mindset, it's not a matter of if, but when, and how you can mitigate the risk and the blast radius. So this is a good demonstration of how to test.
Well, it is, and I think what Jacques is really highlighting here is what is available for folks to test their own environment. See how good their environment is as they're starting to kind of bolster security, starting to migrate workloads, starting to do upgrades, starting to do all kinds of things. Running through this whole list of MITRE attack tactics using the Red Canary tools is actually pretty awesome. Just give you an indication potentially where you might have gaps.
Right, and it's all effectively free, right? You just need a little bit of infrastructure to run it on. You could run this on a desktop. You could fire up Hyper-V, download everything you need. Yeah,
and Kirsten makes a good point, right? Most of these hackers do this for months, and when you think about the hacks these days, they're doing it for a specific reason, right? There has to be a lot of times monetary value, but some kind of value. Right, so they're going to keep working at it if there's enough value to it.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't like it. Let me just check T55Y. There could be something that I'm missing.
Yeah, that's okay.
Let me just quickly check.
When I delivered Rod and team. And everybody listening, when I deliver Defender for Endpoint engagements with customers, we have some tests, simulations, tutorials that you can run through the portal itself. But this just takes it to the next level in terms of triggering MDE. And I want to try this out a few times in my own lab for sure after watching Jacques do this.
If we never hear from you again, we'll know why.
Yeah, no doubt, Rod. And that comment you had up there from Noodle, I find that exploiting a box really helps to understand how to protect from the same attack vector. Yeah, that's a great point, Noodle. Thanks for the comment. And thanks, Kristen, as well. We appreciate everybody tuning in live here. A bit of an extended episode with Jacques because this is highly intriguing.
It is actually there. So I am right. It's T1555. Let's do .00. You know why?
Why, Jacques?
I put a minus in front.
Oh,
you monkey. Okay.
Well, I have to go back to an earlier comment.
Oh yeah. Zoom it.
A little larger.
Jacques, you should have zoomed in, then you would have seen your mistake.
Yeah, I know. So we're gonna grab lasagna. Do you guys like lasagna?
Love lasagna.
Yeah.
Well, you're not gonna like this lasagna.
I like it with bread.
What lasagna does is
garlic
hacker that wrote this program. Pretty cool, actually. So if you actually go and check it out, and you type in the lasagna project. Okay, so lasagna project comes from a pretty they can loot anything. They can loot credentials. So what lasagna does is it goes into your Cret Manager. Okay. Now, because we installed something on that machine a different browser, okay, it might actually grab something we don't want to. So if we go to create manager, there should be no passwords saved on this machine. Nothing. There's nothing there.
Okay.
So let's see if it grabs something out of the system. Okay, and if it's not, we'll create something. So let's say we're gonna grab anything that's password related from a browser in the machine. Okay, so there's no protection on this machine. It's grabbing, it's running lasagna, and it should pawn whatever is running or whatever is saved on this machine.
In the browser. Yeah. And so Jacques, do you recommend people at home save passwords in their browser?
Not at all.
Not at all. I figured that would be the answer. Yeah.
No. Should you save passwords anywhere? Do you believe that there's a safe spot for passwords?
Okay. Yes, there is. I'll show you what it is. Okay. So there's nothing with this machine. Fantastic. So let's create quickly. Let's log in and save something. Okay. So let's go in and it says, let's go. What can we
log into your bank, maybe, Jacques? Log into your bank.
So let's go Dropbox. Okay.
I tried.
Or PayPal. PayPal's safe, right?
Yeah.
Dropbox.
No
and there we go.
Don't get in trouble, Rod.
Some stuff there. And let's say if it's signed out.
Cool. Okay, Jacques signed into Dropbox. Now he's logged out. Everything's safe, right? He's logged out of his account.
Why? So he's using Dropbox instead of OneDrive because I think Dropbox is easier to hack, right?
Well, if you save in, it should ask that it basically goes into the system now. If I want to save this password, you do know I can grab that password without any tool, and you can't detect me.
Do you do that through the developer tools?
Are you familiar with when you do a check in the browser from a SQL what it injects in? You can grab it. So let's see if I can grab it now. If not, I'll just quickly install Chrome, and let Chrome quickly just do a history save. Oh, it won't work.
Oh, been blocked by antivirus software. Hilarious.
But I turn it off. It's turned off.
Hilarious.
I turn it off. See, wow. You see, this is a problem sometimes with Defender when you do tests.
It's too good. I'm hearing it's too good.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
There we go. It's turned off.
Well, I think this is a good reason why you have, like you said, you want to separate the VM.
You didn't hit the really turn it off button, I don't think. Really want to turn it off.
Really turn off. Let's say manage settings. Real-time protection.
Oh, real-time protection. Hilarious.
Yeah. Just turn off real-time protection. Now it's off. What stupid hacker am I?
See? It's that I really want to turn it off button. Yeah.
You were right, Rod. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's see if it's really turned off. Okay. It's gonna struggle now. So let's just wait.
You may have to do your password again then, right?
No, it's saved in. So
in cache.
Obviously it's in a container. It won't grab it. Let's just wait. Let's just kill it. And let's just run it again. It might just work now. Let's just see.
Okay.
If I turn it off.
Fingers crossed. This will be our last test for today's episode.
If it doesn't work, sorry folks. We could quickly grab it another way.
We could always. Yeah, Jacques, we're gonna have you on again this winter.
The trick, I think, would be for you to type your password in and grab Brody's.
Don't take my password. No. Rod, Jacques, I thought we were friends.
Yeah. You know what they say? What keep your enemies closer? What is it?
Your friends close, but your enemies closer. Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
Is it?
Whoa.
Look at that. Holy crap.
That's actually true. I will have to change my password now, but I grabbed it.
I already captured it. Yeah, I've got Zoom it running here.
It's okay. There's 11 people watching this live.
Okay, so you can see what's the difference between if you don't run certain security versus the security that we actually run in here with E5 and E3. So those things do really work. So with Hack 5 tools, you can go now and see. So now I can go and check what's the difference between VM1 and VM2. So I can go back to the organization and tell them, listen, guys, I ran it. It did come out. You now need to run Credential Guard, or you need to run Application Guard. Application Guard or real-time protection and stuff like that in the browser, because it protects Credential Guard. There's more stuff that you can do, but that is actually, so I use it for two things. I use it for starting a conversation by saying to the customer, what do you want to test, and what is the difference between Microsoft and other vendors out there security-wise? Okay, then we go in and say, what do you want to test as an organization? They're going to give you 3 or 4 scenarios. You're going to sit with that 3 or 4 scenarios, and you have to go and test sometimes each one of them. So sometimes the test could be 2 weeks long or 3 weeks long. But after that, you come back with a report saying, this is what we've stopped. When we run it in the organization, this is what it was open from your organization. So the result is you need to enable this, you need to enable that, you need to enable this. So it gives them an idea to power up their security.
Yeah, right. That's cool. And your targeted approach is important.
I can just see going into a customer's environment, just destroying their security. And they're like, oh, here you go. You need Microsoft.
I worked for a critical infrastructure company. It was in Alberta. I'm obviously not going to say who it was when I worked at my previous employer. And they had a third-party red team individual. And anytime we stood up a new solution, and this was I won't even say what it is. Anyway, it was an important new solution, right? And then the second we got it online in the prod environment, but we hadn't fed anything into said solution, it was immediately red teamed by this third-party consulting firm, and they do that every time. Every time they bring on something online that's new, they have them come in, check it, validate it, outline where the gaps are, and then provide, and most importantly, provide recommendations to remediate. And sometimes those tests can trigger some other shenanigans, but yeah, so that was pretty interesting to go through.
I would like to show one time how this works. All the Hack 5 stuff, because me and a team, we basically work on internally to build scripts to detect these in MDE when it goes to the C2 cloud server. So some future stuff that we maybe can work on. How do I stop sharing my screen?
Share at the very bottom, I think, Jacques.
Thank you.
I think, Rod and Jacques, thank you. That was an amazing demonstration as usual. We really appreciate that. I think on a future episode, because I think we've got to wrap up here, Rod. On a future episode, it'd be really cool to talk about the IoT hacks that you were referring to earlier, because we've got Defender for IoT. We're focusing a lot on critical infrastructure, right, Rod? I'm sure you get this all the time, how we're integrating IoT detections into Sentinel. And so, Jacques, I think that would be a really cool future episode where you could come on and kind of outline this, because, the chat's lighting up. I loved your episode today. I loved your demonstration. I loved it. Rod, you loved it, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is great stuff, man. I like typing things, right? Instead of just clicking things. So anytime you pull up a command prompt or a PowerShell environment, then I'm all in. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't like to do presentations, so I don't like to sit there. This is what you click. I want to show how it works, and if the demo cards doesn't sometimes work, we quickly figure it out. One thing that's very, very cool about this, what I kind of see is that there's a lot of people outside of Red Canary that's basically helping and contributing to the codes that we can test. And there's, as you guys could see, there's over 200 and something tests that you can do. So it depends what you want to test and how you want to test it. For me, it's always the key point of what is the outcome that you want to test.
Right.
And sometimes you just need to sit there and work with somebody that knows how to do it. Just don't go and run things and then don't get the right. You need to spend some time understanding it, and if you don't, learn. There's a lot of YouTube videos. There's a lot of places you can go and actually learn how these tools work. The hacking, you need to understand the kill chain. If you can understand the kill chain and how the multi-attack framework works, you can start to see where this is going in. Obviously, there's some other things that we use to do more things. So I'm gonna leave you guys with one last thing. If you're a pro hacker in the wild, bad actor, what is your licensing cost per year? Take a guess. Hackers have licenses.
Well, they hack so they can pay for those fees, right?
Correct. What is the fee of that individual per year?
Per year.
Start. So okay, 250,000 a year.
That's pretty good. I was gonna, Is he close?
85,000 minimum.
85 minimum. Okay. Yeah, I was originally thinking 100, but I thought, you know what? Jacques saying this, it must be some astronomical number. I'm going to crank it up to $250,000.
Yeah, you ruined it for him, Brody.
Yeah,
it's insane. People think that just hacking by using Kali Linux is hacking. That's not hacking. That's freeware. If you want to pay Metasploit per year, the actual Metasploit database is between $15,000 and $25,000 annually license.
Wow.
Yeah, so they really do need a significant target so they can keep their licensing fees. Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a licensing, there's a head count, there's a fee to anything in life.
Cost of doing business. Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're running all those Bitcoin miners on your machines right now to pay for all their licensing.
Don't get me started on that. For whatever, did you know there's a Bitcoin? There's a Bitcoin called Sentinel. And our LinkedIn community group for Sentinel on LinkedIn, there are so many people that think that has to do with that Bitcoin, so they try to sign up for the community group. And I'm like, no,
hilarious!
That's not what that is.
We've got a Sentinel coin. That's hilarious. Well, yes. I haven't heard of that one, but that's hilarious.
It's a good one. And then they join, and then they post a bunch of spam, and I have to boot them. And anyway.
Oh, that's why you had to make that post. Yeah. Well, shout out to Rod Trent and the entire Microsoft Sentinel LinkedIn community, because they moderate that and do a great job updating that regularly. And Jacques, it was awesome having you on again. We'd love to have you on again in the future. That demo worked out great. Absolutely. That was really cool. I learned a lot. I know a lot of people in the chat learned a lot. If you're listening to this episode on a podcast and you're kind of wondering what's Jacques doing, make sure if you're able to, you log into our Twitch or log into YouTube and take a look at the replay. Watch what Jacques was doing there. Try it out at home in a safe environment. Make sure you don't post your password on a live stream. Jacques gonna have to put MFA on his Dropbox account because it looks like Noodle's gonna be all over that today.
Already changed
it. Sorry, Noodle, he's got it. Yeah, but that was really cool. So yeah, if you're able to, please take a look and watch the replay. It really just shows how powerful and honestly easy it is to test with Red Canary, right? And a simple little nested VM setup. So thank you for that.
Well, thanks, Jacques. Thank you, Brody. Thank you, Frank, for joining for a brief period. And I don't know what happened to Ed. We'll probably have the debrief tomorrow. It was probably something Ed liked. So
yeah, Edward's apparently getting chewed out, but that's okay. That's life. Can't always be fun. So all good. All right. Jacques, let's do coffee or lunch downtown sometime soon, my friend. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Sit down.
Have a great night.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for it's such a good channel. It's such a blast to do this. So tremendous good work in the industry. So thank you so much.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you next week.
Cheers.
Take care, everybody.
All right. Be safe.
Oh, by the way, Frank, we need to get like an ending audio thing for our podcast.